up? Welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we are going to design pull to refresh interaction using just Figma. But before we do that, let me give you a quick overview of what pull to refresh is. So guys, I think pull to refresh is one of the very common interaction patterns across all the apps. Very frequent in apps where we have a high rate of refresh of data. For example, apps like Instagram and Facebook, where you keep on seeing new content flowing in, and pull to refresh has become so much intuitive for users that has become a second nature of users. They know that when they pull the UI from top, they'll see a refresh loader and they'll see new content on that page. So guys, we are going to design the same thing, but before we start, those who are keeping track of the basics, who are brushing up their basics, pull to refresh is a very classic example of affordances without signifiers. So affordances with no signifiers. So if you have not heard these two terms, affordances and signifiers, before, I highly recommend you to go and read about it because they're the basics of UX design. I have also created a video 2 years back, not a very high quality video, but I have explained everything very properly in that video. I'll link that in the description. If you want, you can go check it out. But do read upon them. So yeah, without further ado, let's hop onto Figma and start designing. So guys, right now we are in Figma and I have created a very sample UI where we are going to do our interaction. So let me just quickly walk you through the entire UI. So I'm calling this app as Spendly, and what does this app do is basically it tracks your expenses and it also tracks your trades. So for example, if you are gaining money on a stock, you will also get that, or maybe losing money on the stock, you'll also get that in this app. It contains a few elements. Let me quickly show you. It contains a top nav bar which has this logo of the app itself. I'm calling it Spendly. I've just written it in text and just added it on the nav bar. We are not going to animate the top nav. We also have a floating action button below, which gives the users an option to add new expenses on this page. We are also not going to animate that. And then we have these cards, which shows individual spending or individual earning, details of that basically. So you'll have smaller cards which shows you the overview, and maybe clicking on that you can go to the details of that page. So let me show you what are the components, what are the basic structure of this card. So in this card it has a background, and I've given this background as 12 corner radius, white color. And then you have a circle where I'm going to place the logo of the companies basically, be it like Starbucks where I'm spending money, or maybe it could be an image of stock where I'm earning money. So this circle will contain that logos or images. Then it contains the name of that company or entity. Then you also have when this particular expenditure was happened, so it shows you a day and time, and then an icon basically, and a location. So for example, if you have spent this on a specific location, it's a brick and mortar store, then it will also show you the location. In the right you see value, the money value. So if it's spend it from your card, if you have like spent that money, then you will see it in red, and if you have gained that money in your account, you'll see it in green. So that's how we're distinguishing it. To now what we want is we want to fill this entire screen with this sort of cards but with different data. So to do that, a very simple thing would be to convert this first of all into a component. So what I'll do is I'll first add, let's create this one fully. Let's first add a logo of Starbucks to this. So I'll quickly go to Google, copy the logo, copy image here, come here, select my circle, right, and then just do Command V. And as soon as you do Command V, it automatically crops the copied image into that, so you don't have to save anywhere. It's a nice little trick, but works all the time. Now what we want to do is we want to group them together. So for example, I've grouped them here and I'm calling it like short one. Maybe you can call it like base, okay, or base one maybe, yeah. And what you want to do is we want to convert this into a component, and then what we'll create is instances of those component. So component is a very helpful entity. How you can create component? Just select the entire group, come here on the top and select create component. So as soon as you create a component, the base component will be, you can find it here in the layers panel, and it contains all these solid diamonds, okay, from the view. Now what we can do is we can just create instances of it. So basically you can just copy it multiple times and override these values as you desire. Now the reason we are doing components and instances is because if you want to do a simple change in the main element, it will reflect in all the instances. So if you change in the main component, it will reflect automatically in all the instances. So that's why we are using pretty nifty if you want to change anything. One more quick thing I want to show, for example, let's say this card we want it to be something like Apple, and now if you see, we have date and we have the location. Now if let's say I want to change the date to something like 24th October, see how in this instance it's going over the location icon, right? So to solve this, maybe I'll show you here as well. Let me quickly show you here. I'll say 22nd October, right? So if you see in these two instances, my date is going over the icon, right? And how can I fix it? I can go to the main component. So see, main component is visible by this solid diamond, whereas the instances are represented by this open diamond. Okay, so I'll come here. I'll quickly come to this selection in the base component. I'll select all these three, group them together, and I'll come here and select auto layout, and I want it to be horizontal. So what we'll do is when you select something as auto layout, Figma will automatically space them out based on their length. So if you see, as soon as I did auto layout in the base one, the bottom cards have also become better. If you have not noticed, let me quickly show you again. So this was our original state group, and just see how the bottom cards are. And now what I'm going to do in the base component, I'm just going to change it to auto layout horizontal, and see the bottom card has evenly spaced out that entire length. So that's why these auto layouts and components and instances are really easy to do. Now what I'll do is I'll copy them a bunch of time and change these entities and fill up this entire UI first. So guys, I have completed the entire UI with different sort of cards. I've added like cards for Starbucks, Nike, Apple, Amazon, Venmo, Lyft, and Instacart, and I've filled the entire UI now. Now let's create our stages very quickly. So what I'll first do is basically I'll first select all of these cards and group them together, and I'll call it maybe cards UI. Okay, and I'll come here and I'll change it to frame. Now why I'm doing this, I'll explain you in the next section when I'm going to use it. Okay, and guys, I have also created a separate card here below. I'm not added right now in this entire UI. This is the card which will appear when we refresh the UI. So basically when you pull to refresh, this is the initial set of cards that you'll see, and basically when you pull it down and refresh, you will see a new card which will be this Uber card. Okay, so I'll show you how will I use it, but the structure is basically the same. Now what I'll do is I'll just rename it to start one, the entire artboard. Now I'll select it and I'll duplicate it. Okay, so we have now duplicated the first card and we'll call it 2. Okay, now what we want is we want to simulate the stage where we have pulled the UI down. So I'll select this entire group and I'll just move it down maybe like this much. Okay, great. Now what we want is we want to add the loader here. So to create that loader, again I have done something which I have done in my previous video as well. If you want, you can check it out. Basically I've got this loader from the internet. It's nothing, it's just a green loader, and I'll just make it a little smaller. Yeah, maybe something like 52 will work. So I just grabbed this loader as a GIF from the internet and I'll place it here. Now it looks really plain and it also has a white background. So to remove this background, as I told you in my last video, the trick is to just come here and change it to multiply. And as soon as you change the layer style to multiply, the white background will just blend in, so it will not be visible. Okay, let me show you how it looks like in the preview mode, so you'll get the view of it. And this will be basically our second stage. So this is my second stage, and if you see, this loader is rotating here perfectly. Now the loader is an looping GIF, so it'll keep on doing that. I want to like make it like a little bit better, the logo. I'll add maybe a S, and this, so I'm making just a loader a little bit more better. I'll just give it this green color, and what will happen is it will rotate around this letter. The GIF will rotate around this letter, something like this, I think will work. And I'll group these two together, the letter S and the GIF, and call it loader. Okay, now let's quickly see how it looks. So if you see, it looks perfect. The circle GIF loads around the S letter. So guys, now let's create our third stage. So I'll just copy the second artboard and create the third stage. Now what will happen in the third stage is basically the loader should disappear and we should see our new card. So here comes our new card, which is here, which we already created, this Uber card. We want this card to appear in the third stage. So I'll just cut it from there and I'll just paste it here on this third group, the cards UI group. I'll just paste it here and I'll move it on the top because because this is a new card, so it should appear from the top. Now if you see, it's disappearing when it moves up because the card UI, we have built it as a frame and we have clip content enabled. So the way clip content works is basically anything that is out of the bounds, and if you have selected clip content of that frame, it will not show you that entire element if it's out of the bounds of this frame. So if you see the bounds of this frame or this group that you have created and change it to frame, is this basically blue line. So if I do a clip content, anything outside this blue line will not be appear. And obviously we can change this blue line to make things appear and disappear. And the way I said that we'll be needing this, the reason we'll be needing is because we want the card to appear from top. So to make it appear from the top, we need it to be present on the second screen, but we don't want to be visible in the second screen. So I'll just first of all quickly do that in this stage so that I'll explain it how it works properly. So if you see, the bound is still below, I'll just hit command on my Mac and I'll just move it up. I'll move everything a little bit down, and what I want is I just want to make sure that the spacing is perfect, like exactly the same as the other elements. Yes. If I select this is the bound, the blue thing is the bound, and if I do clip content, nothing is now getting hidden because everything is inside the bounds. Now what we want is, we want this Uber card to appear from top, and when we link it with smart animate, it will only appear from top coming down when it's also present in the second stage. So to do that, what I'll do is I'll just copy this entire group that we have created from here. I'll actually delete this second group, don't worry, I'll just delete it and I'll just paste the third group that we have, that we have created. I'll just move it down. Okay, and see guys, right now we don't want this Uber card to appear in this stage. So to hide it, what we'll do is I'll just select the entire frame, clip content is on, I'll hit command on my Mac and I'll start moving the bounds down. So if you see, it's there, the Uber card is there, but it will not be visible. So to apply this particular trick, we needed it to be in the frame stage, not as a group. We want to change it to frames. Okay, and now I'll move it up. So when I link this stage to the third stage with smart animate, since it's also present in second stage and it's also present in third stage, Figma will automatically animate between them and it'll look perfect. What I'll also do is I'll move this entire UI a bit down. So this is around, the Y is 199. I'll make sure that it is also around 199, 200 maybe. So we make sure that both of them are neck to neck same level. The two groups are the same level so that it looks like it's coming from down. Now what I'll do is let's quickly, I hope you understood this bit, why we have done frames and why we have done these things like this. The reason being, we want the card to appear from top and we don't want it to appear in the second stage, so we have used frames and hidden the bounds. Okay, perfect. Now let's quickly link these things in the prototyping bit. Um, so what I'll do is, we want that when we drag down the entire UI, we should go to the second loading stage. So I'll just link this to this, but we don't want it to on tap. We want it happening on drag. Okay, navigate to 2, perfect. Smart animate ease out, and 360 milliseconds should be the time. Now here what I want is that we should stay at this stage for at least some time so that we can see the loader moving. So what I'll do is I'll add a delay. From 2 to 3 we want it to happen automatically. So I'll just link it like this. We don't want it on tap, we want it on delay. Now we don't want 800 millisecond. 800 millisecond is really too low because we'll not be able to see the GIF moving. We'll give it like something a really high time, 200 millisecond. So 200 millisecond, the screen will stay at the stage 2, and after this delay has happened, it will move into stage 3. We wanted to navigate to stage 3, perfect. Smart animate ease out 360 milliseconds, perfect. So I think these are the 3 stages that are done. Let's quickly see how it looks like in the prototyping bit. I'll hit the play button. Let's see how it has worked out. So this is our first screen with the UI. I'll pull it down and I'll see my loader, perfect. And my new card is appearing from top, the way I said. So this looks perfect. Now what has happened is the UI has come down, but now there is nothing on the top. So we want to move it up. So we need to create one more stage here. So I'll just copy the entire artboard again. Okay. Select this bit and move it up. Select the entire group and move it up. From third to fourth, we want to link it again automatically after delay, and we don't want to give any much delay. We want it to go immediately. So we'll just set it to something like 100 millisecond. Navigate to 4, smart animate ease out, perfect. Now let's again quickly see how it looks like. So we have the UI. I'll pull it down. I'll pull it down. We see the loader. New card comes and goes up. Perfect. I think it's happening a little bit too fast. The movement of going up. What we can do is we can just slow it a little bit down so that happens after a delay. So we'll change it to something around 400 milliseconds. Yes, this should work. Let's see how it looks like. So here I'll drag it down, loader happening. Perfect. So this looks perfectly fine. Our animation for the loader pull to refresh is done. But guys, if you want to take it a little bit notch up, so it's perfectly fine actually, it's almost there. But if you want to make it a little bit better, if you want to make it a little bit notch up, what we can also do is, let me just show you here what we can do. This is basically guys optional step. If you want to do it, you can do it. If you don't want to do it, you are completely okay to stop at here. But if you want to make it like a little bit better, what we can do is, I'll come at this stage. We want that when it comes down, it should also expand nicely. So what I'll do is I'll come at this stage, cards UI, go in my design mode, and it's on clip content mode. I'll just remove the clip content from here so that my card is visible, the Uber card. Don't worry, we'll hide it again. And I want to make it smaller so that I'll see in the next stage, not just coming down, but also expanding from that empty area of loading. So what I'll do is, I'll come here, select this new card, which was hidden previously, hit K on my keyboard. So what will happen is, opens the scale tool. So if you see, it has this double edge arrow. You can also go it and get it from here. So normally you'll be in the move mode V, but if you want to go to scale, you can just go to scale mode. The reason you want to go to scale mode because we want to make everything smaller, right? So just go to that scale mode and make it a little bit smaller. See, we'll make it like really small, something like this. We'll move it here in the center. Okay, now we have made it smaller. What we don't want to appear it again, so we'll select our card UI again, and I'll again select the clipping option, which we have enabled earlier. So now my small Uber card is not visible, and it's only visible in the next stage, but I have made it smaller so that it expands in the next stage. Let's preview how it looks like. So this is my first stage. I'll pull it down. See, so the card expands very nicely and then goes up. Let me show you again. Pretty nice actually. Go to the first stage, pull down, loading, and see it just appears like this because we have given a scaling there in the second stage, and the third stage is full. So it comes down and scale again. So guys, I think this is the overall thing. Now it's perfect. You can definitely try it out, and let me know what you feel like about it. Okay. If you try it out, do let me know. Tag me in comments. Tag me on LinkedIn, Instagram, and I'll be making more Figma tutorials in upcoming videos. So see you. Take care, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.